In this episode, we'll discuss the exciting yet challenging journey of transitioning from a solopreneur to a team leader. Scaling a business from a one-person operation to a larger team can be a transformative experience filled with opportunities and obstacles. We'll explore the common challenges faced during this transition, share insightful statistics, real-life examples, and provide actionable tips to help listeners navigate this important phase of their entrepreneurial journey.
Hey, lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Boltz. I'm an attorney and founder of Boltz Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Boltz, owner of Boltz Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Ms Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
I think most business owners want to have a team of people to help them so that they can grow. But a lot of business owners that I see don't get to that point or don't get to that point quickly enough. So I thought today's episode would be very beneficial for those who are in that situation where they want to transition to having staff, but maybe they don't know how or need some extra tips or advice on how to do it. So transitioning from a solopreneur to a team leader involves being the sole operator of a business to managing a group's individuals who contribute to its success. This shift can be challenging because it requires a lot of changes both within your mindset, your processes, your interpersonal skills, and everything in between. And solopreneurs, they often handle all aspects of their businesses from marketing to finance, which can create difficulties when it comes to delegation and leadership.
I think that Bill Umansky, one of our prior guests, said it really well, that your choice, if you want to grow, you have to delegate, you have to bring on additional team members. There's just no way that one person can do it all and also grow. There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much one person can do. So as hard as it may be, especially if you're a type A person who wants everything done perfectly and you believe that you're the best one to make sure it's done that way, you really have to have a mindset shift of, in reality, if you have too much on your plate, then you're not going to be able to do as well as you could if you had someone to help you.
Right. And you can find teammates that have certain strengths, right, that'll help give you a more even dynamic. So say, for example, finance isn't your forte. You can hire someone that has those skills or that experience, and they can complement you a lot better in that regard.
And before you get to the stage of hiring people, I think people question, when is the right time? When are they ready to start looking to bring on a team? And for me, I think that is an analysis you have to do both financially and workload wise. So if you're at the place that you can comfortably do it all, then you should do it all, because you have the time to be able to do it all. But as soon as you get to the place where the workload is too taxing on you to where you can't effectively do it all yourself, that's the time to start looking for someone to help you, so long as the finances also align with your ability to do so. And you can bring on someone part-time, or someone on a task basis, contract task basis, to help alleviate the expense so that you're not paying them a full-time salary, you're just paying them while they're working. And that's a way to help alleviate that expense if finances aren't as great as you'd like them to be, but workload is really heavy.
Yeah, those are all very valid points. And what you can do too is you can start them off in that piecework role or that task role. And then once you start getting more clients, because now they have eliminated some of your tasks, so you have more time to do more of like the ground roots type of activity where you're building relationships and trying to connect with other people who can support your business, then what you can do is you can slowly increase their hours so that they're moving into that part-time or that full-time role. And another way that you can tell if you're ready to hire talent to assist you is if you're turning down clients. If you're turning down clients because you just don't have the resources to be able to properly serve them, that's another great way to tell if you're ready to start retaining some people to assist.
And I have always lived by the philosophy that I never turn down a client. I turn down people if they don't have a viable case or a viable lawsuit. I turn them down for those type of reasons, but I never have turned down a client because we don't have the capability of taking on the case. I say yes. I've had people say, well, how much is too much? How many cases can we refer you? How much would you be able to handle? And I say, there is no maximum capacity. You send as many as you have a willingness and desire to do, and we will find the staffing to make sure that they are handled effectively. But you're right, not everybody has that philosophy, and some of them just say, sorry, I'm not taking on any new patients, I'm not taking on any new clients. And in my opinion, that's limiting your growth. But interestingly, as you were talking about bringing on someone in a role basis or just like a certain task, that's how you and I started working together. When we've talked about this before, but my husband had a concern about Rachel and I working together, and he thought that we would butt heads. And so we decided to work part-time. You still had your full-time job, and just after hours you would work on certain tasks for the law firm, and we were able to see that it worked well, and you eventually moved into a full-time role. But it also is a great opportunity to identify talent who's not working out for you.
Yes.
And cut your losses. So starting out with that kind of piecemeal assignment-based relationship, I think is advantageous in a number of ways. It saves expenses, but it also allows you to evaluate their work quality and their work ethic and their personality characteristics, all these other things, without being committed to full-time employment.
That's a great point. And it leads right into the key challenges of transitioning. And first on the list is finding the right talent. So one of the biggest hurdles is identifying and attracting individuals who align with the company's vision and values, and also finding people that can fit the roles that you need them to be in.
So interestingly, I just learned this week about a company called Red Balloon. Have you heard of Red Balloon?
Yeah, they're part of the Christian Chamber, I think.
I think so. So Red Balloon is a talent matching agency who matches you based on value alignment. So not just skill set, but value alignment. And I think that that's unique, and I think it's important. You certainly want to have people within your business who are aligned with what your values are.
Yeah. And being able to see some of their work. So for example, in my industry, a lot of times if I'm hiring graphic designers, that's something that I can easily ask for them to provide is their portfolio. Or what I've even done in some situations, if they're working on other tasks, is I'll have them, as part of the interview process, I'll have them create something specific for me and give them a deadline. And then that'll show me, like, are they able to meet the deadlines? What's the quality of their work? So that's something that's been helpful, and it could be helpful for you as well.
Do you love the Ms Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple or Spotify are the best platforms for reviews.
2, join us for our Friday Zoom calls at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To RSVP, go to MsBiz.com homepage, scroll down to Ms Biz Connects, and click the link.
3, follow us on social media. Our handle is at Ms Biz Podcast.
As always, we have a whole episode on hiring superstars. So if this is something that you're doing currently, is looking for the right talent, go back and check out that episode. It's one of our early episodes, probably one of the first 10 episodes, first 10 or 20. Check that out because we go through a whole explanation of the things to do to help attract the right talent.
One of the next key challenges in transitioning is effective delegation. So this one's hard, especially if you are a go-getter, boss type personality. Being able to let go and trust that somebody is going to carry out the task, that can be very, very challenging. But failure to effectively delegate can also create bottlenecks within the productivity of your organization.
Delegation is the key to efficiency. For me, I get a couple hundred emails a day, and if I'm in the middle of a mediation or a deposition, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to even read that email until hours later. And then to respond to it, I may not even be able to do it that day. Whereas if I can forward it to a team member and say, hey, please prepare a draft response of this for my review, then they can send it back to me. I can review it, approve it, and it goes out all within a fraction of the time that it would have taken me to do it myself. So it's a better service being provided to the client, a quicker service being provided to the client than if I were trying to do it all myself. So you have to have that mindset of this is going to be better. I'm going to be providing better service to my client when I'm utilizing the help of others.
And this is where training is going to be especially important, right? You want to make sure that your employees are properly informed on how to handle all aspects of the tasks that you're expecting of them. And then once they get comfortable, then you can start delegating more and you see that the quality is there. Another big challenge is developing leadership skills. So many business owners, they might not have any experience previously with managing teams. And let me tell you, it can be very difficult to handle all the different personality types. But it is absolutely crucial to cultivate effective leadership skills to inspire and motivate your employees.
It's also for retention, because if you're not a strong leader, then the employees aren't going to hang around that long, even if you have good ones, and you're going to have trouble keeping, the key to business success is having good talent and keeping good talent. It really is. And so if you're not a strong leader, and I know everyone thinks they're a strong leader, but if there's an objective way for you to take a step back and look and see what are your strengths and weaknesses as a leader, and one of those criteria is, are you losing talent? Are you losing good people for reasons that were avoidable? Then you might have to take a hard look at your leadership skills. An indication also is, are people, if they leave, are they looking to come back? I just hired someone recently who I had worked with years ago, and she was fantastic. I mean, top level paralegal. Never did I ever think I would ever get to work with her again or be able to afford to work with her again, because she's so skilled and so highly paid. But her job, they were closing their doors and shutting down, and so she was in need of a new job, and she contacted me and said, there's only 2 lawyers that I'm willing to work for, and you're one of them. And she was willing to take a massive pay cut from the job she was working at before in order to work with our law firm. And that was an indication to me that I am doing things well to try to maintain my employees and to exercise leadership. So it's really just about looking at how you would want to be treated if you were in that role, and treating people that same way, and just trying to celebrate their wins and be there as a resource to help them, and checking in with them regularly to make sure that they are still feeling like they are moving in a positive direction and have a goal that they are seeking to achieve.
I think most people want to feel valued and appreciated, and there's been statistics that show that people appreciate positive affirmations even more so than money. So finding out what really motivates them, making sure that you're letting them know how much you appreciate them, showing them how much you appreciate them, and not taking them for granted, I think can really go a long way.
Yeah.
And then last, but certainly not least, is going to be maintaining company culture. So as the team grows, it can be quite difficult to preserve the original company culture and ensure that it evolves positively. So being able to continuously make sure that the team is connected, they're communicating well, everybody is getting along, is going to be crucial, because a happy employee can make your business excel, but a disgruntled employee or unhappy employee can show in every interaction, from your operations to even just dealing with other clients.
And I think this too involves looking if you have any toxic personalities within your organization. As you start hiring people and building a team, there are certain personalities that aren't going to mesh well with others, and identifying those personalities and getting rid of them is what's going to be needed to maintain the culture of your firm or your business. Of course, you don't want to have people on edge or dreading coming to work every day because of someone's personality. And when I've had those kind of people, they often tend to be some of the highest performers. And so people don't want to get rid of them because they are doing their job so well. But when they have ultimately left, it has just been a breath of fresh air for everybody else, and made me later realize it was something I should have done sooner.
To the next level, meet our expert team at Ms Biz.
Whether you need help with business strategy, brand development, or digital marketing, we have a personalized one-on-one coaching program just for you.
And if you're looking for something more budget-friendly, our group coaching services offer incredible value and the chance to learn alongside like-minded entrepreneurs.
Transform your business today. Visit MsBiz.com and start your journey to success.
So, in terms of challenges in hiring, a report from Indeed found that 40% of employers struggle to find candidates with the right skills, highlighting the importance of refining hiring processes during this time. So this is where some of those tools, like you were talking about with Red Balloon, could be extremely helpful when you're at the point where I need to hire someone. It's best to kind of conduct this type of research before you actually get them on board.
Yeah, I use LinkedIn has some good recruiting tools, as well as Indeed. And what I also like about those tools is you can put in screening questions that are specific to what you want to know. Like, for example, I put in, what are your salary requirements? Even though the post has what the salary range is, I think that people still sometimes apply for positions even when they're not satisfied with that. So I always put in, what are your salary requirements, and what is your distance from the office in Oviedo, because that matters to me. I don't want usually someone who's going to have to drive an hour plus to come to work every day. So these are are things that you can put in a screening question so you don't have to waste the time interviewing them to ask these questions, or even sending your own message. If they don't answer those screening questions, oftentimes I move past those resumes. So these are just tools that help make it easier and quicker to evaluate the talent applications.
So if you're at the point where, yes, you're ready to start hiring, here are some actionable tips for transitioning. Number one, you need to define your vision. You need to clearly articulate your business vision and values to attract those like-minded individuals who align with your goals. It's like you can't go into something without having any clarity or direction. So you need to be very specific about the type of talent that you want to hire and what your goals are for the company.
And for most people, their first hire should be an admin person, for most people in most businesses, because doing those things like putting appointments on the calendar, confirming appointments that are coming up, just those administrative tasks like sending out an invoice, those things, those could be done by someone else, where your time and attention could be focused on things that require your skill set. So for most people, that first hire is going to be an admin person, could be part-time, who's going to offload those administrative responsibilities that don't really require any specific knowledge of a business owner, and you can train them to do those things, and they can take that responsibility from you to free up your time for more important things.
The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create an effective hiring process. So you're going to want to develop some type of structure that includes conducting interviews, those personal assessments, doing reference checks. You need to kind of have your list of things that you're going to do to make sure that you find the right candidates.
And with regard to this, especially if you're a solopreneur who is already maxed on your time, I don't do a bunch of interviews. I only interview the people who meet all the criteria that I'm looking for. And sometimes I only interview one person because I have vetted them so well through the direct messenger chain that I know that and I've already evaluated their resume, so I know that they have the skills. I know that they meet all my primary important criteria, and then that interview is really just to evaluate their personality and make sure they're a good fit for the culture of the team. But in the past, I used to set all kinds of interviews, and an interview is 30 minutes minimum, usually, sometimes an hour, sometimes even longer. And then ultimately you're only going to hire one prospect at the time. So it's just wasted time when you can evaluate them so much quicker through asking those deal-breaking questions up front, and then you can eliminate the time needed for an interview. I can think of an example. Someone had a fantastic resume, and so I just set the interview, and the very first question that I asked, they told me something that was a deal breaker in the interview. And so I was like, all right, I already know this isn't going to be a good candidate, but I got to go through the interview process anyways because they're here. So I spent some time talking with them, and then ultimately didn't hire them. But that was a learning lesson for me, because I could have asked that deal breaker question through a direct message and would have saved the time of the interview for both of us. So again, just try to be as efficient when you're a solopreneur. When you get to the point that you've got an HR department and all these things, you can interview all the people you want. But when you're by yourself and you've got limited time, you got to be efficient in that process.
So once you've hired someone, you're going to want to start small with delegation. So you're going to begin by delegating some of the smaller tasks that you feel comfortable with handing off. And this will help you build trust and ease the transition for both you and your team. I always like to check in and make sure that they're okay with the workload that they currently have. Because if they're struggling, or maybe they don't want to tell me that they need help with something and it's taking them 10 times as long to complete something because they don't have the right processes in place, then that's where I can find that information out. Whereas new hires, they may not always want to openly convey how they're doing and what's going on.
Sure. That's a great piece of advice. So something else you can do is develop leadership skills, invest in leadership training and development resources such as workshops, coaching, or books to enhance your skills as a team leader. Books are great. Coaching is great. Workshops are great. All these things, you have to schedule them out and block your calendar and go to the coaching or the workshops with your full attention. As solopreneurs, again, your time is valuable. It's limited and you're pulled in 100 different directions, but you have to understand that the future and the growth of your company is dependent upon how strong of a leader you are. So you have to invest that money into those coaching or workshops and reading. And you have to dedicate the time, which is sometimes even more hard to dedicate than the money. So, for me, I am a part of a group called Tenfold that meets from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. one day a month. And when I first learned about Tenfold, I thought there is no way I can dedicate a full work day to just this training and development. Like, there's no way I can do it. But I'll tell you, it has paid off in dividends, the time that I spent there. And in fact, I look forward to it every month. And it's just really a time of reflection for me to just not be bombarded with emails and phone calls and other responsibilities and look at what is my goal for the next month? What are my intentions? And doing that kind of, having the discipline to set that time aside is not something that I ever would have done voluntarily, but because I committed to joining this group, I was forced to do it. And now I recognize the value of it. So take it from me, take it from my experience, set that time aside to go to training and teachings in developing your leadership skills. And leadership skills is not just for leading your team. It's going to be noted by your clients. It's going to be noted by your presentation in the community. So you need to have these skills for a successful business in a number of different ways.
You know we're all about that case, no trouble. All about that case, no trouble. All about that case, no trouble. All about that case.
At Bolts Legal, we are all about your case. Text or call to schedule a free consultation for all your legal needs. boltslegal.com.
Another thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you foster open communication. So you want to make sure that your employees feel comfortable talking to you and sharing ideas and feedback, because it really does help to create a collaborative environment. And sometimes, especially in certain areas, your employees are going to have some fantastic ideas because they are the ones that are working specifically in that department or area of expertise. So by creating that type of environment where they feel comfortable sharing things with you, it's really going to benefit your business.
And open communication doesn't just mean talking about a project every day. I talk to my staff all day, every day about cases, but this means creating a space and a time where you can talk about their unique challenges or satisfaction with their job and what their personal goals are. So to do this, really 2 simple things: have regular staff meetings and have regular check-ins where you spend one-on-one time with that employee. Even just once or twice a year is fine, especially if you have a smaller team and you're doing it yourself as a solopreneur. Then you just block your calendar for a day or however long it needs, depending on the size of your team. For me, I have to schedule a whole day where you have the check-ins. I do it twice a year. I do a mid-year check-in and an end-of-the-year check-in. And then we have staff meetings. We were doing it every quarter, and we've had some transitions, so we're probably going to do it every month for a little while.
I'm a big fan of like quarterly dinners too, because I feel like when you're in a comfortable environment, people can share more about what's really going on and talk more freely. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be about work. It can just be about like fostering that relationship. And that's going to help you a lot with retention as well.
Or even just a lunch, take them to lunch. At my old job, every new employee, the managing partner would take to lunch, and then periodically he'd take, probably every week when he was going out to lunch, he'd grab a couple of attorneys and say, hey, you want to join me for lunch? Take them to lunch. And it was just a good time for them to build relationship and talk about things outside of specific cases.
Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set clear expectations. So you need to clearly define the roles and responsibilities for each team member. That way you're minimizing any confusion and ensuring that everybody understands their contributions. This not only includes like roles, but also like deadlines. You can tell someone what to do, but you also need to be conveying to them when to do it, especially if they're not the type of person that like takes care of things right away. I don't know why I got tongue-tied there.
Some people, I think, get afraid to bring on an employee because they don't have the infrastructure to have training manuals and an employee handbook and all these things that they perceive they have to have before they bring on a team member. You don't have to have all those things. Honestly, I had none of those things. In fact, I still don't have, I have an employee handbook, but the training manuals for all the different tasks, like we don't have written out step-by-step instructions for every single task. It would take literally years with all the different tasks that we do. It would take so much time for someone to sit there and write it all out. So we create videos, we create training videos where we just share screen record what we're doing and talk through it, and it's effective, quick, and then we have those videos for reference for new employees. So there's ways to create training manuals so you don't have to keep doing it over and over as you grow without sitting and writing down word by word every step of what you're doing. But also don't let the lack of those things hold you back from going on and bringing someone in if you're ready in all other respects.
And that leads right into our next tip, which is utilize technology. So you're going to implement tools or software that can help. So there are things that you can do for free, like with some of the training videos. Loom, they have a free version where you can make videos. I think it's up to 5 minutes for free. You can also use Zoom. You can screen share on Zoom and record it that way. And then I think it's like a 40-minute time limit on that. And then you can just show them what you're doing. If it's computer related or technology related, you can show them what you're doing and give them a video, and that can be a way to train them as well. But there's also different technology that you can use to help streamline communication and workflow among team members. So Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Excel spreadsheets. There is Trello, which is a checklist that Brooke uses. There's all kinds of different things that you can use to help.
Yeah, and even if it's not a computer task, you can still record. I have a friend who owns a screen printing business, and she hired some employees. She wanted to train them, and she took out her cell phone and recorded herself doing the screen printing stuff, and now she has that available for them to give to them, but they can also refer back to it every time they do the task just to make sure they're doing things correctly. And having that visual, in my opinion, is more effective than even having a written manual, because you can see it.
Right.
A lot of people are visual learners, and it makes more sense to them when it's visible.
The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stay adaptable. Understand that challenges are going to happen. There's going to be things that are out of your control, but be prepared to adapt your leadership style and strategies as your team continues to grow.
Also, sometimes I found that people hold back on hiring people because they think, well, I don't really think anyone's going to be interested in this position. I don't think anyone's going to be willing to work for the amount of pay that I can afford to pay them. You will be surprised. My husband has a video game company and he won an award. And after that award, he put out an ad for free interns, unpaid positions. And he got dozens of applications, and it was because he had won an award and people wanted to be a part of this video game that had potential to grow and also build their resume. So I share that example because don't think that no one's going to be interested, or I don't have much to offer, I don't have benefits, or I don't have this or that or the other thing. People aren't going to be interested in this position, so I'm just not going to do it. Don't feel that way. You will be surprised. And I'll also tell you that once those applications start to come in, it's actually pretty exciting because it's like a new opportunity. And as I'm always reviewing those applications, it's like, you're picking out an outfit at your favorite store. It's kind of fun.
Right. Well, we hope you found this episode helpful. If you are a business owner that wants to grow, hiring staff is going to be the method that you're going to want to choose in order to really reach those revenue goals. If you found this helpful, please share with a friend and leave us a review. We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Ms Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Ms Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.